Denver Council District 2 2-Minute Talk with Councilman Kevin Flynn.
Hi, Councilman Kevin Flynn with your Council District 2 2-Minute Talk for October. November 5th is Election Day. You'll be getting your ballots starting October 11th. I'm talking to Clerk López about what happens with the journey of a ballot when you drop it in the drop box or in the mail. We're going to go inside and see some pretty fantastic stuff. Let's go.
Let's go.
So the envelopes with the ballots inside come in from the drop boxes, and the post office brings them into the front desk, and they all come in here. What happens here, Clerk López?
Oh, our bipartisan teams, the ballot security teams, bring the ballots in from different drop boxes everywhere else, and they're sorted and prepped for scanning.
Okay. And then after the sorting, Clerk, they come over to this remarkable looking machine. This is so impressive. What does this do?
This is our ballot sorting machine. It's an Agilis machine. What this does is it scans your signature and actually moves it forward. And that signature is later used for signature verification, so we know that it's you. That's why it's really important for folks to make sure you sign the back of your envelope.
That's right. So once it goes through the sorting over there might be some problems, like no signature. What happens then?
Well, that's why we ask folks to make sure that you sign the back of your envelope, because if there's no signature on the back of the envelope, or the signature doesn't match what we have on file, which is very common because our signature changes, we contact the voter, and the voter has 8 days post-election to be able to provide that signature, the ID requirement that that needs to happen, or to correct or update their signature.
And I see you have a lot of categories here. Yep. Here's text to cure, there's IDs, no signature, and this is where all those come here. And they're not opened yet, they're not counted.
They're not opened.
They're verified.
That's correct. They're not opened, they're not counted until we verify that signature matches, and the person who needed to show their ID in the beginning when they registered to vote can do that.
Right. Let's go over to this next section. So the ballots that don't have a problem come here to one of these stations. There are 3 of them, 78 stations for signature verification. Now, how does that work?
Well, everything that we do happens in bipartisan teams. So you'll have Republicans, Democrats sitting next to each other. These are our election judges. They're paid election judges. Our election judges are not volunteers. They're trained to recognize signatures. We do a training before every election from an FBI specialist who trains folks how to recognize different signatures, variations in signatures. So they get to decide, and they make a decision on whether that signature is a match and moves forward, or if there's an issue with that signature. If there's an issue with that signature, we also contact the voter, and we make sure that they update their signatures.
So here we have a Republican, a Democrat, and unaffiliated election judges, and they're verifying signatures. If they find one that they don't think matches, what does it take to reject a ballot?
It takes 3 humans, 3 people to reject a ballot, and that goes on its own process, so we make sure that voter is contacted.
Goes back there and
Yes,
you contact the voter.
Mm-hmm.
Every valid vote should count.
Yes.
Now we're going to see the most interesting part of this. Now this is the room where the ballots are actually extracted from the envelope only after signatures are verified.
Yes, after the signatures are verified, it moves forward. The folks that will be here are also bipartisan teams, and they will extract your ballot from your envelope, and they never see each other again.
But you keep the envelopes, I understand.
We keep the envelopes. We actually keep all of our ballots and envelopes for 25 months post-election, but that's to ensure voter anonymity. And so your name isn't on your ballot, it's only on the envelope. Once we verify that that's you, we separate that, and that gets moved on in the process.
So Clerk López, we're now in the tabulation room. All this equipment here, this is where the votes are actually counted. Yeah. Sometimes you have ballots that are kicked out because there's marks on them or mistakes on them. Yeah. What happens?
Well, if there's ever a ballot that we see that, the bubble's filled, but then somebody marks that off and they said, I meant to do this one, that's okay, because we have eyes on it. And anytime there's a ballot that has a scribble like that, or it seems that the intent is not clear, we have a team, a bipartisan team that sits next to each other on that screen, and they will determine what that intent is per state law.
Once all the ballots get counted, there's 8 days after the election. You may still receive ballots from overseas voters. Yeah. So there's an 8-day period where the ballots that were still stuck back there can be cured, and they can still be added to the count. Yeah. This is a really crucial election this year. There's going to be 6 pages on your ballot, 3 sheets, 6 pages. Be sure to vote. Vote early, drop them in the box, drop them in the mail, but please vote, Denver. It's very important. Thank you for joining us.